What's going on, camera friends? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel, whichever scenario fits you. I hope all of you are having an excellent day with the recent announcement of the Astra series from Sirui, which is their full frame anamorphic autofocusing lenses. If you didn't know, now you do. I thought that it would be fitting to make this video talking about their current APS-C anamorphic autofocusing lenses. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm on the S52X right now in Cine V2 because people always wonder that stuff. So that's what we're shooting on. And I'm also trying this new light out. I don't think I really dig it yet. This thing is only at like 4%, but if I turn it down anymore, it starts to flicker, which isn't cool either. Maybe I'll circle back to that later on in the video. This is the Sirui 40mm T1.8 1.33 times anamorphic S35. That only took me one take, by the way. I've been using this lens for the past few months now, and it's been super fun to use. Let's break it down. Get into build quality, autofocus, the character, all that good stuff. Even some low light thrown in there too. All right, let's talk about the build quality first. This thing is robust. It feels like a tank. It's sturdy, all the right things. I've had a couple Sirui lenses in the past and they've all been pretty darn good. It has a aperture ring and a focus ring. Both of these have the gears on them, so you can control these with focus motors if you want. Very cinematic. It also has a clickable and declickable aperture ring. So when it's clicked, you got the clickies. When it's declicked, no clickies. On the other side of the lens, we have the AF to MF switch and the autofocus lock button. And there's your build quality and all the physical expectations on this lens. Let's chat about the autofocus performance. This is obviously a big draw for this lens. It's what the people are talking about. The pressure's real, so how'd it work? In most cases, with good lighting and exposure, the autofocus system worked pretty well. This clip is in controlled lighting and the autofocus box was nice and responsive. When I moved towards and away from the lens, you do notice some big breaths coming out of this guy. Not me, the lens. Same situation with my hand up. A very noticeable pulse. Considering the price, I have seen worse on more expensive lenses. This shot was just before sunrise and the light was almost non-existent. Unfortunately, I did not record the monitor with my Ninja 5, so just trust me. When I turned and walked towards the camera, the autofocus boxes were once again quite responsive. The lack of light made it difficult for the lens to find me though. It would lock on and then fall off. A similar action in quite the opposite scene for this clip. Now we have a strongly backlit frame with a ton of light hitting the lens. There were long periods of time that the autofocus stayed on me without a problem. However, there were times like these where it got lost. Why am I showing you all of these autofocus fumbles? Because I really do like this lens. It's super fun. Two reasons. Number one, I want to be real with you guys. My goal is for you to watch my videos and know that I'm always being 100%. Number two, in certain situations when the lighting isn't perfect, relying on the autofocus might not be ideal for any lens. Like I mentioned earlier, for what this lens gives you at this price, I can deal with the autofocus not being perfect. It hits about 80 to 90% of the time. All right, so I'm gonna try to riff through this a little bit. I didn't write something, so excuse me if I kind of jump around a bit. Let's talk about pincushion distortion and barrel distortion. Pincushion distortion is basically when the center of the frame is being sort of pressed in, and you can see it in the sides or the edges of the frame where it'll sort of warp towards the center. Barrel distortion is the opposite. It's when everything in the center of the frame is being pressed out, and then the outside of the frame is kind of being elongated, if that's the right word. Like I said, didn't write this stuff down. What I've read about this lens in particular is it leans on the pincushion side of the distortion, less than the barrel distortion side. After going through some footage, I don't see it as much. There's a couple times where you can sort of see a little bit of the frame kind of coming in. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is it super obvious, the pincushion distortion? I know what I'm looking for. I think I know what I'm looking for. I'm just not seeing it blatantly in a lot of the footage that I shot. And then let's talk about character. The look of the lens, all of this is subjective. This is a cleaner looking anamorphic. It's pretty sharp in the center, and overall, you can kind of see in the corners here, it looks pretty good, I think, in my personal opinion. It is a little bit flat. It does have a flat kind of a feel to it. There's not a ton of separation. This is at f1.8, and there is some separation with the background over here, and this is shooting in Vlog at 640. So do with that what you will. If you're looking for a sharper anamorphic, then this is the one to get, especially for the price point that it's at. Obviously, this wasn't made for high-end budget movies. Those anamorphic lenses can be up to like $30,000. This is budget friendly for you and me to make fun, stupid internet videos. The next thing I'm gonna do, I wanna walk you through the Super 35 mode, the full frame mode, and different aspect ratios. There's a few kind of interesting things that I've noticed, especially if you have an S1 Mark II and you're looking at this lens. This could be important factors for that. Now, first off, what I'm shooting in right now is the 6K open gate. I also have anamorphic stability and the standard image stability on. All right, big correction on that one. The frame before, what you were just looking at, was with all the stability turned off. This is the framing with image stabilization at standard and anamorphic stabilization on. I'll jump back to the other clip and show you the difference. I'm silly. Like I said, hey man, no script. I'm just letting it rip, bro. You can definitely see some vignetting in the bottom of the screen. And you notice that this frame, a little bit tighter, a little bit more punched in because of the stability turned on. Now I'm gonna go into, you can't do cropless, but I'm gonna go into the image stabilization setting for high. Did Seth Rogen just pop up? He should have. Okay, am I recording? Yep, recording. All right, now we are in image stabilization high, and now this thing is really, really punched in a ton. When you're in just MOV mode with the S1 II, you can select full or Super 35, but what I've found is that when you go into 6K open gate, you can just go into anamorphic standard stabilization with anamorphic stab turned on, and that will get rid of most of the vignetting from the lens. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. Yeah. All right, let's jump back out of this and go into the ProRes just for a few minutes so I can kind of show you that. I do have some ProRes shots that I took in 5.8K, and I'll show you those in just a moment, but let's just see how it looks right here. All right, this is ProRes 422, just regular. It's not the high quality, not HQ. This is 4.8K 4x3. I went in and I turned off the stabilization, the regular image stabilization to off, and I turned off the anamorphic too. So this does punch in a little bit. The vignetting is completely gone. Don't see that. So that's what you're getting. And yeah. And I don't want to be in this for too long because this is, I had an hour and 45 minutes of recording and now it's 17 minutes. So it's a big file. It's chonky. All of this is shot in Vlog, by the way, too. Okay, I'm stopping this because it's too much. All right, we're back in 6K. So one thing that I will mention also, when you're in ProRes shooting 4.8, obviously you can't go into APS-C because it's using more pixels. When you drop down to the 16:9 and 4K, then you can switch from APS-C to full. Show an example of that on screen right here, probably while I was talking about it. It seems confusing if you've never used a Super 35 lens on a full frame camera, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly. If anything, I think having all of those options and being able to dial in exactly what you want to see is pretty cool. So Yeah, but this is the 6K, and now you can notice this vignetting over, I can't point in the right direction because I'm looking at myself here. So you can see that little bit of vignetting right over here and maybe a little bit down this corner, but it's really not that bad. And if you're focused in the center of the frame, the vignetting shouldn't be that big of a deal, especially if you're using the stabilization, if you're punching in a little bit. What's next? What was the next thing I want to talk about? While I'm talking, I'll pull up some shots that my wife and I got from Fort Lauderdale, Los Olas. Beautiful place down there, especially around the holidays. All the lights in the trees, and very expensive boats also down there. Low light overall performed pretty well in my opinion. I think the S1 II does a great job in Vlog with 5000. I think the camera itself will dictate most of the low light performance, especially if the lens is like in a 1.8. It does as well as the S1 II does, or any other camera that you buy and put this lens on. So if you have an A7S III, or if you have an FX3 and you're getting this in the E-mount version, obviously those cameras shoot really great in low light, ZV-1 also. Overall, low light's gonna be dictated by the camera that you own. Here is a shot of me on the balcony, and this is some bokeh in the background here. It's not the most anamorphic looking bokeh, but it still has more of that elongated shape to it. As you can see, I'll punch in for a second here in these lights. Remember that this lens is a entry level, very affordable. You know, if you want to go out and drop, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 on an anamorphic lens, you're going to get better bokeh, obviously. So I think it looks pretty good personally. Once again, all subjective. It's up to you. Here is some lens flares to what I shot with my iPhone. This is the light in low power. And this is the light with it all the way maxed out. Something I noticed with shining the light directly into the lens, that the focus boxes still stayed on my face, which is pretty good. So that means the autofocus was doing its thing, even with that light pointed into the lens. Who is this lens for? I think it's for people like me or you if you want to just add a different look to the videos that you're making. Like I said, this isn't made for a high-end cinema, situation. There's other lenses that are even slightly more expensive than this one that are still in that budget or affordable range that give more character, that gives a more anamorphic feel to it. 1.3, 1.33 is sort of the beginning of the anamorphic stages. You can go into 1.5, 1.6s, 2s. When you get into those types of anamorphics, that's really when you're gonna see that look pop out more, if that makes sense. So if that is what you're after, more of an extreme, more character-driven anamorphic, then there's probably other things that you wanna look at besides this one. If you're looking for something to just get your foot wet, you kind of want to, get in the pool with the anamorphics. I mean, that sounds so stupid, get in the pool. If you're looking for something to just start your anamorphic adventure and you want to spend a ton of money, then this would probably check all the boxes for you. The autofocus is decent. The lens flares look cool. It's relatively easy to work with on a full frame camera as long as you have those options to crop in on the image. The build quality of this lens is great. I really enjoy using it, and I would suggest it to people that are trying to get that anamorphic, that slight anamorphic look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. Just me being honest, showing you what this lens does. Hey, real quick, I finally got some affiliate links. Woo, go me. So, if you want to support the channel and support me, everything I'm doing here, go into the description below and find out all the gear and lenses, all the stuff I use. And if you use those links, that helps me out. So, I appreciate it. If it's your first time here, definitely subscribe. Give this video a like if you found it helpful. If you would like to watch other videos of mine, they're on the screen right now. And you can just click one of those and go over there. They're fun. All right. We'll see you next time.